Today's video is going to be about the turbocharger from this Renault Clio. So if you have one of these trouble codes, I'm going to show you how to do a couple of tests. So the turbocharger is located back here. First, I'm going to turn the ignition on, connect the scan tool and do the bidirectional test. There is the OBD2 port as well. The smart VIN works. Clio 4 control modules, injection, turbocharging solenoid valve, and we've got here the solenoid which will take the vacuum which will activate this actuator. Now let's activate it, and you can hear that noise. You will feel a vibration here. I'm gonna connect a voltmeter as well. And the duty cycle is probably around 40% because we've got only 4.5 volts, which is 40% of 12 volts. Now next, let's remove this cover so we can see the turbocharger better. We have to remove as well the oxygen sensor. So you're gonna need the oxygen sensor socket. Alright. This is the size of the socket. On a regular range, it's a 23mm. Let's put this in a safe place. So it looks like there are one bolt here, one here, and one back here. Let's go for the one in the back. That's easy also. Let's remove this vacuum hose. And this cover will come out. Let's remove these nuts. Unplug this vacuum line. Now I'm gonna use a regular 7mm, and here it comes. Just take it out and twist it around like that, giving you a lot more working space in here. Here you're gonna find the turbine, which is activated by the worm side. This rod is gonna move, so you gotta make sure that you can move it with your hand. This rod should not move freely like this, but you should apply a little bit of energy because that will confirm this actuator is in good condition, since you've got there a spring which will allow you to return to closed position. Also, in order for the turbocharger to work properly, it will need lubrication, so you're gonna find an oil input and the output. Therefore, it's gonna be a constant oil flow through the turbocharger. Also, you're gonna find some coolant hoses connected back here. Now, this line comes from the evaporative system. You can easily remove it like that, and the same lock is gonna be next to the turbocharger here. So we've got it disconnected. Luckily, we've got a regular hose clamp here which connects this intake hose to the turbocharger. We've got a regular hose clamp here as well. Now we've got 3 of these type of hose clamps, one here and 2 next to the solenoid. Alright, it has this self-lock mechanism. And let's see the small ones. You can do that with a regular flathead screwdriver. So this solenoid has a very strange connector. Yes. Now this intake hose is free, so you're gonna see in a minute why I remove it. Let's take it out from here as well. Now we get a better access here, and we can see down there the end of the turbine. I can see that the turbine is not moving in any direction. Okay, you can see it does spin very easy. This is what you want to see, because it can happen that the turbine is stuck in there, so that's why you don't get any boost. Obviously, if you have difficulties in spinning the turbine, you probably need to replace the turbocharger, since the bearings are stuck or it's just physically damaged or rust. Now in my situation, there is no reason to remove the turbocharger at the moment. However, let's go ahead and test these solenoids. Here we've got the regulator valve, which sits between the turbocharger and the boost pressure control valve. Okay, so I want to see if this thing moves freely. Just watch the rod while I'm pumping air on the actuator. So this thing is basically closing when there is more pressure on the actuator. I was thinking first time when I pull from this rod that on most of the actuators you need to press them in, But I thought, okay, it's the reverse process, so anyway, if I apply the vacuum, this thing will go out like this. But it's not the case. You need to apply pressurized air to this line in order to make this rod move outwards. Alright, so here is the part number of the wastegate actuator. Here is the part number of the boost control valve. And here is the part number of the regulator valve. Now it's very strange that this regulator valve is basically allowing the air to travel from both directions. So the solenoid itself is not connected to the vacuum, it's actually connected to this intake pipe, which will have pressurized air. I don't know how much and how strong is going to be that pressurized air in order to basically pull this rod and activate the turbocharger. It's just the reverse process of most of the turbochargers out there, which will be vacuum actuated. When the turbocharger is not activated, the vacuum will hold the turbocharger closed. Then when you activate the turbocharger, the vacuum inside the actuator will be released, therefore turning on the turbo. Or on some cars you've got an electric actuator module which will turn on and off a lot easier and simple. But on this car we've got the reverse process. We basically take pressurized air from this intake pipe and activate that actuator in order to turn on the turbo. The thing is that I don't know in which position the turbocharger is on or off, but I bet right now it's off. I'm gonna put some copper paste on the threads of this O2 sensor. Now before ending this video, something to be mentioned is that the only electronics which are kind of interconnected with the turbocharger is this switch solenoid. Then we've got here, maybe this is a vacuum actuated switch because it connects to the intake manifold, which will take the pressurized air which waits basically to enter into the intake manifold next to the throttle body, will travel through this pipe and go to the intake pipe, therefore delivering pressurized air to the solenoid. That's my only explanation, but I don't see why they should make this complicated system for such a simple movement of the actuator in and out. I definitely learned something new today, so thanks for watching. If you have questions, let me know. If you know something more about this system, please let me know as well. Stay tuned, take care, and I will see you in the next video.